Michael, how excited are you for this game? How ready do you feel you and your team are?
Well, the team arrive at the game in fine form of 10 consecutive league wins, and this is the biggest test going away from home that we've had, albeit our away form's been very good. So we're certainly looking forward to the game.
How much confidence can you take from that away form being so good? You know, some of your best performances since you've come in have been away from home.
Yeah, of course. I think we've obviously scored a number of goals, and you would say in the last 3 or 4 away games that we've missed big chances to score even more. And so look, we're in a positive place. It's a game we've been looking forward to as a squad, and now it's important that certainly after this, the talking's done. It's important that the players now execute the game plan and perform.
What needs to change from that game at Hampden a month ago?
Well, both games, since I came back in the derby, we've started slow in both. Have improved after half time, but certainly need to make sure that we start this game well, that we're strong defensively, and we carry a big threat going forward with our key players. I think that's the importance of any big game, that you stay strong in your structure, but also you at the right times you go and play and express yourself, and we'll pick a team to go and win the game. Nicholas Raskin's fit and has trained all week, so he's got 3 or 4 training sessions behind him, so there's no issues there with Nico. No, nothing major, just the normal bumps and bruises, but no, nothing major.
If you're to win the league this season, Michael, do you have to win this game on Saturday?
I think that's obvious. We've obviously, since I come back in, it's 15 league games, 14 wins and a draw. We've played our part. It's fair to say Celtic have played their part as well and have done equally as well as us, because our form's been fantastic, and the players in that sense have done nearly everything they can do. After tomorrow, we'll know whether we're 3 points closer, whether we're no closer, or we're 3 points further behind. I think ultimately, all we can do is win our games, and it's Celtic's league to throw away or to lose, if you like. And it doesn't look like at this moment in time, outside of the games with us, that they will drop points.
You're talking about starting slow in this fixture. Is that just as much a mentality thing than an ability situation out on the field? What can you do to make sure that's different?
It's things that we talk about. It's important that we start well tomorrow. We're going away from home and with no fans, so the home crowd will be up, and it's important that we start strong and we start winning the duels, and we were too slow in both games. That's not the Rangers in this fixture that I remember, but it's the Rangers that in this fixture that I've inherited, and it's important that we show a different face for sure, and I think that's common knowledge. That's nothing that, I'm not saying anything there that will surprise anyone. We have to start in big games stronger.
Big defeats or convincing defeats in the last 2 of the last 3 visits to Celtic Park. Are you battle scarred in any way, or do you use that as a motivation in a way to prove a point?
It's a different manager now, some different players, and players who are coming into this game for the first time as well, and we're in a rich vein of form, so there's no reason why we wouldn't put a stronger performance on. As I say, we come off the back of 10 consecutive league wins. That's not by coincidence, that's because we're playing very well, and all I'd ask the players to do is to bring the best version of themselves to this game.
How does the lack of any of your own fans change the mentality the team have to have going there with 60,000 against you basically and no one in your corner?
Well, 600 or 700 is better than none, but it's still a small amount, so we have to get on and play the game. I would prefer in this game if there was some fans involved, like in any stadium, that you want to take your travelling fans, but at the same time, the decision has been made now, so we just move forward. It will be the same for Celtic when they come to Ibrox for the return league fixture.
And would you like to see it eventually get back up to the full allocation, 7,000 or so fans, in terms of the spectacle of the derby?
I never experienced it, so to be fair, this is my 16th game against Celtic. 2 have been at Hampden, so there's been the split, and the atmosphere in those games have been fantastic, but for all the league games I've never known that. I can only listen to what other people say, and I think that everybody has an opinion that we should have some fans if we can logistically, and hopefully moving forward that is the case.
And in the last 2 games you've had decent spells in both of them, but how do you plan to impose yourself on Celtic for longer spells in the game to get the result you need?
Well, if you look at the majority of the games we play, we're a possession-based team. So it's important that we take the ball and we stay with it and we get our attacking players on the ball, whether that's Todd, Malik, Ryan, breaking from midfield. It's important that those guys go and show their quality. And if we get moments, we have to execute. And we had big moments at Ibrox, we had big moments at Hampden as well, and we didn't execute. And ultimately it comes down to the boxes. You'd like to be dominant in between them, but big games are won in the 2 penalty boxes, and the games are always tight and are always generally won and lost in moments, whether that's off a set play or a moment of brilliance. They generally are won in the final third. It's important that our big players step up tomorrow.
Michael, since that game at Hampden, Todd Cantwell's really come to the fore. Nicholas Raskin's played a lot more football. How key will these 2 players that came in January be tomorrow? Do you feel you were almost a bit of a different team from that Hampden game, even though it was only maybe 6 or 7 weeks ago?
We're definitely a different team from the first games. I was only back 3 or 4 weeks, and the confidence levels. The final was hugely disappointing. From that, we've bounced back really well. Todd and Nico are big players for us moving forward, not just for this one fixture, of course. And they've brought a nice energy into the group, I think, and certainly have shown that they've got qualities moving forward. But this is the start of their Rangers career, and this is the sort of games that they need to play and play well in.
How important, Michael, is it to have those fresh players? You mentioned about being a new manager and some new players going into the game at Parkhead tomorrow. How important is that, having some new players? Yeah, and moving forward there'll be more and more that come in over the next few windows as well to add an energy and a change of a variety into our team. And I think we've done reasonably well of late. As I say, the league form's been strong, but it's important in these last few games towards the end of the season and 3 derbies that we continue to show that, because it will form and shape people's futures at the club. You speak there about making sure your team do themselves justice on the ball. Is that just a confidence thing? Do you feel in the last 2 Old Firm games your team's been able to hold the ball and play through enough?
I think we have to get closer. We need to get closer out of possession. We need to get up and get closer to people and play with more intensity, and we have to play a derby for what it is. And we ain't got time for people to wait, and we need to have good energy and good application on the pitch. And all of that gives you the foundations to play football. You've got to go and take the football, and you've got to be good in key moments. And so whatever your tactics are in possession, it's often comes off the back of your organisation, your willingness to go and press and take the ball. And I think tomorrow you've got 2 teams that respect each other, and it's important we impose our style on Celtic as much as we can if we want to get a positive performance and result.
What would that win do for the confidence and belief of this group?
I think obviously it will be a key thing. I think nothing will take away the disappointment that we've experienced this season. So 3 points tomorrow is not going to take it away. It just starts moving us in the right direction. We're certainly a team that are trying to do that, and we're evolving all the time in terms of the style and the ideas I have, and certainly a big performance tomorrow will underline some of the good work that's going on, or it will keep the noise as loud as it's been.
So I think in the build-up to these games, the fans during the week, there's this kind of emotional build-up. I think some Rangers fans call it getting battle fever. Do you feel that same sort of emotional build-up to these matches when you're on Celtic at the weekend?
No, listen, I enjoy the big games. They're the reason that you work. There's a reason that you're in the game. The eyes of the people are on this game this weekend, and that's a huge privilege to be involved in. It's similar to the European games and all the big domestic games. Certainly away from home you feel a difference as well, because you know it's a big game and the other team's going to come for you. We're going to the home of our biggest rivals, who are in fantastic form. We feel we're in fantastic form as well, so there's a huge opportunity for both sets of players tomorrow, and naturally we want to come away from there having shown a better face than the last game.
Stevie, to finish.
Michael, what's the attitude and performance been like in training this week? Do you notice a kind of determination? There's been a lot said about putting a better footing in these kind of games. Do you get the sense that the players are ready to do that?
I think the players arriving in the place, arriving at the moment of the game in a good place. What more could we ask for than our form coming into this game?
So you try to keep calm, you give them details. This is two teams that know each other well. This is the fourth game this season. There's two more to come, so it's not like we don't know each other. So you try to keep it down to the details, and then you try to go into the game with a lot of familiarity and clarity in terms of the roles that they have. You don't try to come up with anything new. You try to keep the players very stable, focused on what we are, and then it's over to the players to execute, and you support them as best you can. And I'm sure at some moments of the game tomorrow I'll have to make big decisions to help the team as well. So it's been a really calm week, and we're looking forward to the game.
Just going back to something you said a couple of weeks ago, you said that you were looking forward to seeing if guys like Todd Cantwell, Nico Raskin, Malik Tillman could go and insert themselves on games like this and really perform. Do you look forward to that, aside of obviously being the manager and everything that goes with that? Do you look forward to the excitement of seeing, because you've obviously got a lot of faith in these guys, seeing whether or not they can go and carry that out, and these are the games where you want them to really do it?
Yeah, I think, listen, that you work with these boys every day and you want what's best for them and best for your club, and you want them to perform well and do well. It's a big opportunity for all the players on the pitch tomorrow, but certainly I'm looking at players in the bigger games in terms of forming the decisions I make moving forward. I think that's fair to say. I think most managers are the same. The big games are the ones where you get the best feedback after it. You try to put it all into relation, because it is just one performance and 3 points, but certainly you look at your players on days like tomorrow and see who can stand up and be counted. And we've got a really committed group. We're in a good place. There's nothing not to look forward to in terms of the game, and it will certainly give us feedback, that's for sure.